Hi, so I'm back again for another one. So we're back in the Jimmy. This thing, I promise we're going to get to that interior. I know I've been saying that for a few weeks now, but I had to get these brakes done so I can move this thing out and bring it back in. Long story. Anyway, front brakes. Now in the past I've done calipers on a GM vehicle before, pads, sure, hoses, why not? Repack the bearings, yeah, no problem. But I've never done it on a K5 or K10 or anything like that. And the biggest difference is this hub assembly. So this hub is actually, these lugs are pressed into this hub through this rotor. Inside here we have, the bearings. We have the 4x4 locking mechanism, a series of clips, springs, retainers. Need some specialty tools. But the thing is, it's not that hard. I was pretty intimidated by it, I'm not going to lie. I had even considered leaving the old rotors on there. And this side looks okay. This side's pretty grooved. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's grooved pretty good. And I'm going to sell this thing afterwards anyway. And that's not my style. I don't want to stick somebody with something like that and then make them do all this work. So I got it done. So if you've never done it before, or you just want to see me struggle with it, and maybe just learn it's not that bad, the average guy can do this, and you can, I promise. Stick around. It's not that long of a video, and who knows, maybe you'll learn something, or maybe you'll be able to laugh at me, because I'll tell you what, on this side, man alive. See all the broken drill bits? Yeah, 3 of these screws, somebody had stripped them, so I had to drill them out. And I don't know what they're made out of, but they should make airplanes out of that material, because it took forever to get through there. It probably took as long to get those bolts out as it did to do the brakes on that side. Anyway, I'm getting all off track as usual. Stick around, and I'll show you how I did these brakes. Okay, so I'm actually on the passenger side here. This side only had 3 of these screws on here. And if you look inside, let's look how the other ones are set up. They're just gone, like rounded. There's stuff there. I don't know what that stuff is. I don't know if it's dirt or if it's broken bolt. There's the 3 that we just took out. Good, good, good. Meh, meh, meh. I don't know, let me throw you on the tripod and let's see what happens. Try a little soft blow. Not good. Oh, she's in there. So it's definitely got to be drilled out. Sucks. Alright, well, no sense whining about it. Let's get at it. Okay, so I started on the other side, the passenger side. But I'm not going to lie to you, it didn't go well. 3 of these bolts, these screws rather, had no heads on them. So when I went to go take them off, I had to drill them out, and that became a thing, and turned into some language you probably don't want to see on YouTube. So let's start on this side. It also gives me a little bit of practice behind me, so pop this guy off. The other side took probably an hour longer than it should have. Oh boy, I hope these don't break off. Because that's probably what happened to the last guy. And then he just stopped. He didn't go any further. On this side, my rotor actually doesn't look too bad. I could probably leave it, but I have it. It's a bunch of extra work. But you know what? Why not do it? You got the parts. May as well. Even the brake pads aren't that bad. But again, I have the parts. This machine needs to pass an out of province inspection. So I just want everything, you know, up to snuff. It's a pretty stringent inspection, and this vehicle is not going to be mine. I'm going to, you know, when I'm done, I'm going to sell it, move it on, get another content vehicle. But whoever buys it, you know, I want them to have a good experience. I don't want to, you know, slap stuff together, if you will. Anyway, so there we go. All 6 came off okay, and this should just pop right off, and it did. I'm just going to grab paper towel, lay it out, and I'm going to lay this stuff out as in the same order that I take it off, just to keep things simple. Bring my tools over. And I'll just lay out 2 pieces of paper towel here. We'll start here. And I can go get my stool. I'm old and fat. So inside here we got this little Phillips screw down here. I'm going to pop that Phillips screw off. And this piece here is going to come out along with the spring. Okay. So I'm going to put that guy down next. I'm going to put that guy down. I think I'm just going to put my screw back on here, so I know where it goes, all that good stuff. Okay, so next up we got, oh, there it is. Just covered in a little bit of grease. So what I like to do is just take a pair of needle nose. Snap ring pliers would be the best way to go, but I know for myself, I don't always have snap ring pliers at the hand, so I'll try and show you that there's other ways to skin a cat, I guess. So just kind of get in there. That just pops right off like that. And now we got this big one around the outside here. So it's this big clip in here. And it can be a little bit of a challenge to get out sometimes. There we go. Yank that guy off. Set that up here. Now we get into this socket. So this is called a 4-lug by 2 3/8 outer spindle socket. Just like that. I got this one off of Amazon. I don't think it was too expensive. I don't quite remember how much it cost, but that's what makes me think it wasn't too expensive. I don't think it's engaged. Maybe it is. That's on a little bit loose, if that's, I think it is too. Okay, so there you go. There's that guy out. Nothing special about him. Put that guy there. Then I believe we got some sort of a spacer washer deal back here. Yeah, here it comes. if you look on this guy, it's got this keyway here. See that? So it's only going to go on that spindle one way. All right. And then we got another one of these guys. This guy's not on very tight. Yeah. This guy's actually on pretty loose. And then all of a sudden you need help with the ratchet. That's strange. Oh, we might have some buggered up threads or something. I don't know. You don't come across that every day. Where it's loose and then tight. So we'll get that guy off. This one actually retains that bearing on there. And pop that guy out. Put that guy there. And we should have, yep. So this guy goes up against the outer bearing. Just like that. It's got a little lip on there. And then I'd be better off just pulling the spindle. Here it comes. And there's our outer bearing. Okay. Throw that up there. Let me knock this caliper off. There you go. Okay, so now we still have the inner bearing and the seal on there. Unfortunately for me, I got the wrong seals in. So I'll try and keep that seal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this guy off, lay it down on a piece of paper towel here. We gotta take the soft part of this hammer and the heavy part of this hammer. Just knock that inner bearing out just like that, and then I can reuse this seal. Although right now, I bet you're thinking, what the hell do you want to reuse that seal for? But I don't have one. Get off my back. Okay, fun fact. The height of this hub and the height of this to the stud, they're the exact same. So I'm going to put a lug nut on here just to help push that through. What we need is we need this hub, which mounts, this is rotor, this is hub. And we need this. So we got to push these lug nuts all out, or lugs, I guess. And then we will mount them in our new rotor and onto our new, well, this hub. So let me get you set up on the tripod and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I popped those off. This is the hub. So I cleaned this up on the wire with a wire wheel. Just want to keep that nice and clean. And then we want to throw this onto our rotor. So this is going to go like so, and our rotor is going to go on top. So in case you don't know what's going on here, I'm basically just putting this over the stud, and then these here are just to make up the difference so I'm not bending this over. So let's get it in there. Get this bar underneath here. Some guys will use washers, bar, piece of plate, whatever you got. And this is the last one. Down she goes. And yeah, just like that, we got all our studs in. All right, let's go toss this puppy back in. All right, so now we can start the reassembly process. I've re-greased this bearing. This is my inner. Just gonna slap her in there. And this is the seal. So we'll tap that in. Okay. And we're gonna be ready to get going here. So I got a little bit of grease up here. Well, I probably got too much grease up there, but that's okay. I'm all right with it. You should probably learn to be too. Let's see if we can't. Come on, get up there. Okay. So here's the outer bearing. Here's that little seal that, or I wouldn't say seal, it's like a cupped piece there. That's going to go over top. Yeah, I feel like we're not. There we go. I like that way better. And then we got this guy. So we'll put him on our socket. I guess I could have cleaned that up a little better, but I didn't. And I'll get this guy in there. So this one is like on a regular front brake job, you're just trying to, you know, take out the trying to find the sweet spot, if you will. Come on now. What's going on? Come on now. Oh. I think we're good right there. Okay, like so this guy's got this little notch in there, and that notch goes up here. So I'm just going to slip that in there to the keyway. Now this guy goes on. This guy gets tightened up a little bit more. Okay, that's pretty good. So you'll see there's 3 slots here and there's 3 openings here. So you just line those up. And we'll throw these guys on. All right, what's next? Let's get this caliper ready to go, I guess. Nice copper washers in here. So these are for our brake line, right? It's going to go on either side of the banjo bolt. And we also got this clip here. This clip is for the brakes. The one that goes up against the piston, it gets this guy. All right. All right, so we got our 2 washers here for our banjo bolt. And you're probably not going to be able to see it very good, but it should be pretty self-explanatory once I show you. Basically, you're going to put 1 washer on each side of the banjo bolt. We'll put I'll just put those here for right now. I'll bust it off here. It's got a couple on it now, but you always want to put new ones because these are sealed, of course, to the old caliper and to the banjo bolt. Here we go. I'll just pop this off. Get a little bit of chain looking so good. All right. All right, so there's one of the old ones. I see one still on here. So I'm going to try and just knock that off. There we go. There's this guy. Oh, you bugger. Come on now. Oh, thanks, Rock Auto. Those are too small. All right, let's try this guy. I have a couple more from a brake hose I bought that I should be using, but I'm not. Let's see here. Just spin this around. I'd rather run it like this. Then you just thread her into the caliper and then tighten up the banjo bolt. Pretty straightforward stuff. And you want to crush that copper washer. So we'll take that guy out of the way. We got a few springs and stuff left over from here. No, I'm just kidding, we don't. It'd be cool if we did though. Okay, let me pop that bleeder. We'll let this guy bleed off. Got some good slivers in there. We have brakes. And I'll take that all day long. I don't know, that's my first time doing it and it wasn't so bad. So if you're looking at doing it, I have to say it's pretty straightforward. I thought that the hub might be a struggle to get on and off that rotor, but it wasn't. Once I had the lug nuts off, or the lugs out of there, it just came right off. I didn't have to pound on it much or anything, just kind of tapped it lightly with a hammer and just fell off the rotor. So don't let it intimidate you. Get out in your garage and do those rotors. They're cheap. And you know, it took me probably 4 hours, maybe 5, if you want to include those broken screws on the other side. But overall, that's not the end of the world. It takes a little more time, but I won't have to get in here and do this again for a long time. Whoever buys this is gonna be okay on rotors for a while. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this week. Be sure to check back next week. When I'm out of excuses, I can finally fire this thing up, get it outside, bring it back in, and get welding up on the back so we can get this damn interior back together. I don't know if I told you why I had to do the front brakes, but I went to go move the Jeep out of, or the Jimmy out of the way so I could install So I don't know if you know why I'm doing the front brakes on this thing, but the reason is I wanted to install a D-ring in the floor back here so I could drag cars in and trucks in, you know, before we drive them out. And the Jimmy wouldn't move because the front brakes were locked up. So I had to do the front brakes on this thing so I could get it out, turn it around, and bring it back in so I can weld up the rear, which has now been pushed back another week. But once that's done, this interior can finally go back together. So that's going to do it for this week. Be sure to check back next week. Hopefully we get that interior slapped together. And yeah. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Thank you so much.